And welcome to Real People with Stan Simpson, a program about Connecticut people and compelling issues. Make it a point to drop it every morning, Sunday morning, 10:30. Hey, today we'll take you to the theater and talk about why it's so vital to society. Godfrey Simmons Jr. is the new artistic director at Hartbeat Ensemble. The Hartford Regional Theater Group is known for its provocative and thought-provoking plays and performances. We'll hear why inclusion of diverse voices is so important to telling authentic stories. Welcome to Connecticut. You were here from December. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
That's
Thanks,
a
Dan.
big,
Appreciate it.
it's a national search, and this is a big deal for the arts community here in Connecticut.
It's a big deal for me too.
Yeah. So, Your background is Ithaca. You're upstate New York, right?
I was in Ithaca for the last 8-9 years.
Performing, right? And you're.
I was teaching at Cornell University. I was on the theater faculty there, and I have co-founded a theater company called Civic Ensemble.
Mm-hmm. Kind of a provocative group there, I heard, right? I heard you guys did some cutting-edge things.
We were doing, some interesting things. There's a couple of theaters already in Ithaca, New York, and it's a bit away from things, right? It's a fairly white town,
right.
as it were, but it's a college town.
So you were shaking them up over there.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we were, here's what we were doing, right? We believe that theater is everyone's birthright, and that was kind of like our vision, and that's my personal vision, certainly in terms of theater, and so what we did is that we were really kind of giving primacy to the voices of women and people of color, right? In terms of the plays that we were working on. We were also, doing community-based plays with, that were looking at issues that were important to the community, and but the actors weren't professional actors. They were people who had never even maybe done it before, or who kind of maybe they did it in high school, but they really kind of galvanized around a particular topic that was important, right? We did one on police and community relations. We did one on the invention of race in the United States, and
white privilege, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You find that a lot of those kids, Ithaca, a lot of suburban white kids are more receptive to, once they understand white privilege, they're a lot more receptive than maybe some of their parents once they understand the history, and really, it seems like their minds are more open to understanding, the history and what it's manifested.
Well, I certainly found that in terms of, the students at Cornell. Not, obviously I don't know every white student at Cornell or whatever, but you did find that there was an interest. I've always thought that, young white people, maybe like under the age of 30 and 25, they want something. You have an interesting thing where there's like a desire for just something different, something that's kind of not just going to see plays by old dead white guys. I just don't think that they're interested in that, and they're also interested. This is just based on my experience, at Cornell and in the different communities there in Ithaca, that there was an interest in using theater for different things, not just having it be, let's go to the theater and sit passively and watch a play.
Right.
They were interested in seeing how theater would work with different communities, right?
To a large degree, the hip-hop culture, it was that way. The whole issue, rap music, hip-hop culture, I mean, those guys made their money not so much on the black audience, but the white kids in the suburbs, the hip-hop, who gravitated to this culture and understanding what they were trying to say. So I think some analogies in that their minds were open to a different type of mentality and the culture. So you're kind of a triple threat in that you write, produce, direct.
Well, no, I look that way because when most people say triple threat, they're talking about an actor who sings and acts and dances and I act. But
you direct.
In terms of the other things, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly,
so what is that like? Because sometimes when folks get into the theater, right, they either say, I'm a writer, I'm an actor, I'm a dancer, I'm a singer. Right. But you've kind of understood that you provide content, right? And that's
I mean, personally, I always wanted to just create spaces for people. I've always been really concerned about storytelling. I've always been very concerned about storytelling for Black and brown folks. I've always been very concerned about a certain point of view as an intelligent person of color moving through the world, and particularly being a black man moving through the world. And I'm very interested in stories that look at all of those
nuances, right? Because it's complicated. People don't understand the nuances of being a black male in a society, right? Or even a Latina they don't understand those shoes. A lot of folks don't, right?
Not at all. And as I've evolved, as an artist, I've also evolved as a man in terms of thinking about misogyny and all of that, and thinking about class. And so the reason why it became important for me to not just kind of quote, just be an actor, is because I had no control over the message. If I just go in and I'm just, an actor, and there are times when I want to be, but you can only make so many, you only have so much agency if you just kind of wait for the phone to ring and, you act in a show and then you wait for the next one. There's no agency really. And I don't believe that you can do art and think that it's not political. Art is a political act. And making theater is a political act. And as an actor, when you walk on that stage, you are representing something. And so you are a political agent. Doesn't matter who's directing the show, doesn't matter what theater is doing the show, doesn't matter if you're doing street theater, or if you're on Broadway, or at the Bushnell. I mean, you are making a political statement, you singularly, by agreeing to be in the play that you're in, by saying the words that you're saying. And so I think that once I really kind of owned that, it became important to think about how I was telling stories and not just sit back and kind of wait for something. There were things I wanted to say. There were things that I wanted to investigate. There were things that I wanted to,
bring to that platform.
Yeah. I mean,
it makes you more learned, right? When you're in the theater, it makes you much more. You have to be, because in order to tell accurate stories, you need to know all sides and the nuances and be able to tell that in an accurate, authentic way. Because that's what the audiences connect to. When you're able to tell a story authentically, that's what an audience connects to, not when you just have to give it a good performance. When it's authentic, when it's real, when it's courageous, and maybe says some things that people don't say normally, right?
One of the most profound experiences that I had was, after I know we were talking a little bit earlier, before we came on, we were talking a little bit about politics, but I didn't tell you this, but in 2008, when President Obama was elected, after he was elected, I was really kind of disturbed by it in an interesting way, because everybody was saying oh, we're post-racial now, and it's just no, nothing's changed actually, and it's probably going to get worse. But I decided with a buddy of mine to go down south and interview 100 people about the election, about what it means that we have our first, black president of the United States. What does that mean to you? And we did these interviews before inauguration, between the election and inauguration, and in the course of the next few years, we created a piece of theater around it called Dispatches from Amended America.
Dispatches from?
Dispatches from Amended America.
So you talked to people before the inauguration of all backgrounds?
All
and what did you had a representative?
People from
what were they saying? What were you hearing? What were some of the comments, or were they all just various?
Well, it was interesting. And we're talking 12 years ago. No one was too afraid, actually. And in fact,
or they wouldn't express it. They wouldn't. Sometimes I'm going to hold this thought because I want to interrupt me hard here. But I want to talk about the issue of that post-racial society expectation with Obama, and how they're really manifested, and the fear of Black Panther situation, where some people had all kind of misnomers on what would happen with the black president. So we'll get into that, and then we'll get into Hartbeat and all that stuff. But right now, we're just riffing right now, right?
Hey,
we're just wide-ranging conversation. All right, we're going to come back. We're going through a lot of time here. We're going to come back and talk more about the importance of including diverse voices when telling powerful and authentic stories in the theater. And here with Godfrey Simmons Jr., the new artistic director of Hartbeat Ensemble, the Hartford Regional Theater Group, known for its provocative and thought-provoking performance. Remember, catch us online in your own time. Don't go away.